The Upper Deck Company, LLC, founded in 1988, is a private company primarily known for producing trading cards. Its headquarters are in Carlsbad, California, United States. The company also produces sports-related items such as figurines and die-cast, on top of having exclusive agreements to produce memorabilia with such sports superstars as Michael Jordan, Derek Jeter, Tiger Woods, LeBron James, Kevin Garnett, Andrew Bynum, Ernie Els, Albert Pujols, Grady Sizemore, Matt Kemp, James Loney, Sandy Koufax and Ken Griffey Jr. Under the Upper Deck Entertainment name, the company also produced card games such as World of Warcraft. Company history. On December 23, 1988, Upper Deck was granted a license by Major League Baseball to produce baseball cards, and just 2 months later, on February 23, 1989, delivered its first case of baseball cards to George Moore of Tulsa's baseball card store in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Upper Deck sold out its baseball cards midway through this inaugural year, then pre-sold its entire 1990 baseball stock before the year began. The 1990 set included the industry's first randomly inserted, personally autographed and numbered cards of sports superstars. All Upper Deck brands bear an exclusive trademark hologram, and Upper Deck was named Card Set of the Year every year from 1989 to 2004. Paul Sumner created the Upper Deck concept in 1987. He worked in printing sales and came up with the idea for a premium card. When he heard about card counterfeiting, he realized that he knew a way to protect cards. He had studied holograms in college and had used them in printing his company's brochures. He hired Robert Young Pelton to design and produce a prototype. Pelton designed and produced the cards for Upper Deck's first 3-year rise. Pelton's agencies, Pelton & Associates and Digital Artists, were replaced by Kiat Day. Paul Sumner resigned with the understanding that he would be known as the co-founder of Upper Deck, something that the company's owner and CEO, Richard McWilliam, recognized until McWilliam's death in 2013, of acute alcohol poisoning. On March 20, 1990, the Upper Deck Company was granted licenses by the National Hockey League and National Hockey League Players Association to produce hockey cards. The company also obtained licenses from the National Football League and the National Basketball Association in 1990, making the Upper Deck Company the first trading card company in 10 years to be licensed by all 4 leagues. Upper Deck established itself so quickly that it rivaled Topps, which had been considered the standard, and other companies such as Fleer, Donruss and Score. By 1991, the company built a 250,000 square foot plant of brown marble and black glass on a hilltop 30 miles north of San Diego. After Upper Deck introduced its premium baseball series, other companies followed with improved photography, better design and higher quality paper stock. The sports card market grew from $50 million in 1980 when Topps's monopoly was broken by Fleer, to a $1.5 billion industry in 1992. Hall of Famer Reggie Jackson served as an advisor in the early 1990s. At the beginning of the 1992-93 NHL season, Upper Deck made Patrick Roy a spokesperson. Roy was an ideal choice as he was a hockey card collector, and his collection amounted to over 150,000 cards. An ad campaign was launched and it had an adverse effect on Patrick Roy's season. Upper Deck had a slogan called "Trade Roy," and it was posted on billboards throughout the city of Montreal. A Journal de Montreal poll, published on January 13, 1993, indicated that 57% of fans favored trading Patrick Roy. Before the trading deadline, Canadiens general manager Serge Savard insisted that he would consider a trade for Roy. The Canadiens ended the season by winning only 8 of their last 19 games. Upper Deck was also the first to insert swatches of game-used material into cards when it made jersey cards in 1997 UD Basketball. The insert set was called Game Jersey, and a similar set followed in baseball the next year, where UD cut up game-used jerseys of Ken Griffey, Jr., Tony Gwynn and Ray Ordonez. In 1999, Upper Deck Company spent in excess of $1.1 million in acquiring vintage baseball memorabilia items at the Barry Halper Collection auction held at Sotheby's in New York City. One of the items was a Ty Cobb jersey that Upper Deck paid $332,500 for. As part of a sweepstakes prize, it gave the jersey to 14-year-old Robert Shell of Milwaukee. At the time, the estimated tax Robert was going to pay on the prize was $125,000. The amount, his mother said, would force the family to sell the jersey. In May 2005, Richard McWilliam was honored at the Sports Collectible Industries annual trade convention in Hawaii as the industry's most influential person of the past 20 years. In addition to McWilliams Award, Upper Deck was also recognized for the debut of its legendary 1989 baseball trading card set, which included the then 19-year-old center fielder Ken Griffey, Jr. as the most influential event of the past 20 years. The list of nominees was created and voted upon by the editorial sports staff of F+W Publications. In July 2005, Upper Deck won the liquidation auction of former competitor, Fleer Skybox International's brand name, assets, and business model, as well as the Fleer Collectibles die-cast business assets. In March 2007, Upper Deck made an offer to buy competitor Topps, competing with Madison, Dearborn Partners and Tournon Company, the eventual buyer. Upper Deck originally included the year of the trading card set's release on its logo, with the 19 above upper and the last two digits of the year under deck. This practice was dropped midway through the 1994 season. In 2008, Upper Deck retired the green diamond logo and replaced it with a new design that it could better use to market all of its products. In 2009, Upper Deck introduced the Diamond Club. Diamond Club members consist of the top individual purchasers and collectors of Upper Deck and Fleer brands throughout the United States, Canada and Japan. The criteria were that the members distinguished themselves not only by the amount of money they spent, but by how they helped to promote these products within the hobby and to other collectors. Diamond Club members receive special promotional items, receive invitations to special events and are invited to an annual summit where they can share ideas with members of Upper Deck while participating in a special reception with one of the company's spokesmen. Fewer than 125 members are chosen to be a part of the program each year. On August 6, 2009, Major League Baseball announced it entered into a multi-year deal with Topps, giving it exclusive rights to produce MLB trading cards. Upper Deck would retain its rights to produce cards bearing player likenesses via its contract with the MLBPA, but will be unable to use team logos or other trademarked images. On February 1, 2010, Major League Baseball filed a federal lawsuit against Upper Deck for trademark infringement. A mutual settlement was announced on March 3, 2010, stating that Upper Deck could continue selling its three current baseball card series, although they are prohibited from using any MLB trademarks in any of their future baseball products. Despite this limitation, Upper Deck commented that they would still continue to produce baseball-related cards without the use of those trademarks. On September 29, 2009, Upper Deck created the company's first-ever packs of Finnish and Swedish-language victory hockey cards to go on sale in those markets. In February 2010, Blizzard Entertainment tendered its licensing deal with Upper Deck. Upper Deck had previously produced the World of Warcraft trading card game. On April 7, 2010, Upper Deck announced it would no longer be licensed to produce NFL trading cards. Upper Deck spokesperson Terry Melia noted on his Twitter account that UD was unable to come to terms with NFL properties. No NFL properties licensed football cards from UD in 2010, Upper Deck owner Richard McWilliams said. Over the past year, Upper Deck has attempted to negotiate a new licensing deal with NFL properties. Unfortunately, despite our best efforts, we were not able to reach agreeable terms, and therefore will not be issuing any NFL properties licensed trading cards for the 2010 season. Upper Deck will continue to focus on its exclusive license agreement with the Collegiate Licensing Company and co-exclusive agreements with NHL Enterprises and the NHL Players Association, as well as its multiple entertainment licenses. On January 8, 2015, Panini America acquired the Collegiate Licensing Company exclusive trading card agreement that Upper Deck formerly owned. Dwayne Buse, then a California Angels pitcher, would later become one of Upper Deck's founding partners. In November 1987, Buse walked into the Upper Deck, a trading card store. Store owner Bill Hemrick noticed Buse and the two struck up a friendship, one that led to Buse's hosting an autograph session at the store. Within weeks, Buse had become one of Hemrick's business partners. Hemrick and his partner Paul Sumner were in the process of starting Upper Deck. Unfortunately, the two lacked the business and personal connections to help land a necessary Major League Baseball Players Association license, which would allow Upper Deck to use players' names and likenesses on its cards. The only response they received was that the Players' Union was not accepting another card company for 3 more years. Buse was told that if he could help secure the license, he would receive a 12% stake in the card company. Buse would become a key figure in getting MLBPA officials to agree to a meeting. By the end of the 1988 season, Hemrick and Sumner received the license and by 1989, were making baseball cards. By the time Buse retired from professional baseball at the end of the 1989 season, he had collected $2.8 million from Upper Deck. Believing the company owed him even more money, Buse sued Upper Deck executives. After the battle over Buse's stake in the company was settled in court, he became a millionaire who reportedly made $17 million on the deal, far more than he ever made as a baseball player. In 2.5 seasons with the Angels, Buse made $212,500. Upper Deck was originally scheduled to pay Buse his millions over a 4-year period, but due to the 1994 baseball strike, Upper Deck's business stalled. Buse then agreed to a 6-year payment plan. Sales in 1995 and 1996 fell so far that for those 2 years, virtually all the company's profits went to Buse. On the day in 1998 that Upper Deck cut Buse his final check, the company threw a party at its Carlsbad, California, headquarters. The top brass ordered employees to work just a half-day. Later that year at the Christmas party, Upper Deck CEO Richard McWilliams told employees the company's deal with Buse was the worst deal it had ever done. 1989 set and Ken Griffey, Jr. In the 1989 Upper Deck baseball set, Ken Griffey, Jr. was selected to be featured on card number 1. The decision to make Griffey, Jr. the first card was reached in late 1988. A teenage employee named Tom Guidman was the one who suggested the use of Griffey as its choice for the number 1 card. Traditionally, Topps had a system for reserving various numbers in their sets for the biggest stars in the game. Guidman decided that a top prospect should be honored with the number 1 card in the inaugural 1989 set. After reviewing Baseball America, Guidman narrowed the list of candidates to 4. Greg Jeffries of the New York Mets, Gary Sheffield of the Milwaukee Brewers, Sandy Alomar, Jr. of the San Diego Padres, and Ken Griffey, Jr. Guidman was a Mariners fan and decided that Ken Griffey, Jr. should be the prospect featured on card number 1 of the 1989 set. At press time, Griffey had not yet played a major league game, so Upper Deck used an image of Griffey in a San Bernardino Spirit uniform. Competitors such as Score and Topps neglected to include a card of Griffey in their regular 1989 sets. Both brands would make a card of Griffey in their end-of-year traded sets. Such neglect helped Upper Deck gain exposure due to the popularity of Griffey in the 1989 MLB season. Despite the popularity of the Griffey card, it was not a scarce card. The card was situated in the top left-hand corner of the uncut sheets and was more liable to be cut poorly or have its corners dinged. Company policy was that if a customer found a damaged card in its package, the company would replace it. Many Griffey cards were returned and the result was that Upper Deck printed many uncut sheets of just the Griffey card. According to Professional Sports Authenticator, the Ken Griffey, Jr. would become the most graded card of all time, with the company PSA graded over 50,000 of the cards. The Beckett Grading Card Service has evaluated over 25,000 of the Ken Griffey, Jr. rookie cards.